Rule 156 of the International Humanitarian Law Databases. Serious violation of international humanitarian law constitute war crimes. Which is exactly what we're going to be doing in this playthrough of New Super Mario Bros. DS. And starting on 1-1, I'll go over the war crimes as they appear. In 1-1, we get to commit our first war crime, despoliation. And I'll take the information that I got from the International Humanitarian Law Database, which it states the obligation to take all possible measures to prevent the dead from being despoiled or pillaged, meaning that every time we kill an enemy with a fire flower and take their coin, we are committing a war crime under, well, the Hague Convention. And so, once I get the fire flower, we commit 13 war crimes in 1-1. And moving on to 1-2, we at first commit 18 war crimes, stealing the coins of 18 enemies, but in this challenge there are certain enemies I won't be counting. Like for starters, the piranha plants, mostly because I don't think they're a part of Bowser's army. And the enemies I was counting as a part of Bowser's army was Koopas, Goombas, Hammer Bros, and a few extras, mostly because those are like what I consider to be a part of Bowser's army, and most others I just consider like random animals or insects or whatnot. So I won't be counting piranha plants, but we do commit 18 counts of war crimes the first time, but later I do find out there's a hidden Koopa, so I do kill him, so you don't need to tell me in the comments. 1-3 follows the pattern where we don't commit any new war crimes and mostly just continue with despoliation, earning us 8 more war crimes to the total counter. In 1-Fortress, we get access to the blue shell by sheer luck, which means we get to commit another war crime that falls under the same set of rules as despoliation. Rule 133, treatment of the dead, which state that many military manuals prohibit the mutilation or other maltreatment of the dead, which means that by destroying dry bones, we do commit a war crime of mutilation of the dead. But then I got hit and I went to the menu, and despite this being the third time I did this, I kind of did forget that my progress wasn't saved, so I had to do all that again. But back at 1-Fortress, we destroy the dry bones, and then we get to attack Bowser Jr., who is a child. And in the rules of war, you do not attack civilians. You limit as much as you can the impact of your warfare on women and children, as well as on other civilians. You treat detainees humanely, you do not torture people. Which, seeing how we burn Bowser Jr. to death, yeah, is a war crime, especially because we're attacking a child, even as that child is attacking us. As in Rule 137, it states that only those over the age of 15 can be tried, and I don't think Junior is over 15, so that means we commit another war crime here. In 1-4, there's no new war crimes to record, so I'll just say that the level is pretty easy with the fire flower, especially because most of the enemies here were kind of hard to dictate whether they are infantry responding or not, so I just jotted down 11 war crimes on my counter. But now in 1-5, now this level is pretty easy. Just the first half is pretty easy because all the enemies are lined up, and I did have to do this in the post game, but anyways, but like for the rest of this challenge, Power Koopas are going to be the biggest pain in the ass, mainly because coins that you get with fire flowers linger for a bit with an invisibility hitbox, meaning that you can't actually pick them up first thing. I need to wait like I say 5 frames or something, if I had to guess, before you can actually pick them up, meaning that when you hit them with a fire flower you can't automatically pick it up, which means that we have to time it, but after a few attempts I was able to time it, and the rest of the enemies, whilst a bit more difficult than the first half, I was still able to commit 16 war crimes, which is all the war crimes I could feasibly commit. And now, in 1 castle, we commit the same war crime of mutilating of a corpse, and then we get to the Bowser fight, which I couldn't exactly find it anywhere in the IHL, but yeah, apparently you can't just drop someone into lava, which does constitute a war crime. So that means that this level has 7 war crimes in it to be committed. And 1-A, well, I mean, it only has fish and sharks, which are part of nature, which I'm not counting as a war crime, which means that this level, I can commit 0 war crimes in. And so, with that, our final count for World 1 is going to be 78 war crimes. But we're gonna continue now to World 2. Now in World 2, we go on to 2-1, where we get to commit another war crime, that being Rule 90, torture, cruel, or inhumane treatment and outrages upon personal dignity, in particular humiliating and degrading treatment, are prohibited. Which, by first shooting off a piece of a pokey and then killing it, would count as torture as we're extending its suffering. So that means for each pokey, we do commit a war crime, bringing it up to 25 war crimes in this level because I am counting pokies as a part of Barz's army. 2-2 was fairly annoying with all the infantry putting lactose, but eventually I was able to commit all the war crimes I could in this stage, being 7 war crimes. 2-3. I hate this level in this challenge because of the starting Koopas. They're the only things I'm able to war crime, but unfortunately because I start off sliding, I'm not able to pillage their corpses, and even trying other things also doesn't really work to pillage their corpses. So I'm gonna say 0 war crimes because this level annoyed me, and we're just gonna move on to another level because, yeah, I said so. 2-8 was much easier to figure out my war crimes because other than the infantry respawning fish, there was very little Koopa Troopas, so that means we commit 5 whole war crimes in this stage. 2-4 didn't really have any single problem, mostly because it's a standard level, besides the Hammer Bros, which I just despoliate, meaning that we commit 19 war crimes in 2-4. And in 2-Fortress, we can't really commit too many war crimes, because there's only 4 dry bones, which means we can only destroy 4 corpses and beat up 1 child, meaning that we commit 5 war crimes in this stage. 2-5. Now, was anyone else scared of the block stoppers as a kid? Like, I swear, these things were basically just booby traps. But other than me being scared of these things when I was younger, in this level we managed to commit 13 war crimes for all the enemies that we managed to despoliate. And unfortunately, in 2-6, we can't commit any war crimes because it's only piranha plants here. And 2-Castle also has no war crimes, so like, even more not Pog. But in World 3 now, I guess. In World 3, 3-1 has fish. So now in 3-A, I have no idea what the hell to count the skeeters, but all I do know is that we do commit 26 war crimes in this level, so we can move on. Besides 1 paratrooper, that wasn't even a problem. 3-2 lets us commit 15 war crimes. Now, 3-Fortress, on the other hand, has a lot of Koopas, a lot of them on barricades, a lot of them just climbing up and you have to drop down a lot, but other than that, we beat up Bowser Jr. and we commit 32 war crimes. 3-B and 3-3 are no war crime levels, so now in 3-C, the fish was annoying, and 11 whole war crimes. In 3-Ghost House, the only war crimes we're able to commit is on the Goombas wearing pumpkins, and in 3-Castle. Besides pillaging the Thwomps and the Dry Bones, we can't commit a war crime on a fish. So 5 war crimes. Now World 4. World 4 starts off strong with us being able to commit 13 war crimes in it. And 4-2 goes even better, as we're able to commit... Wait... only 12 war crimes? That's not better, that's less! I want to be trotted to hay! Oh, what do you mean 4-3 is only 1 war crime? And 4-Fortress is only 4? Alright, but luckily, in 4-4, we get some good news because we're able to commit 14 war crimes here. Although, 14 with a bit of an asterisk, due to the clump of flying Paracoopas at the end. Meaning that I have no idea how to even go about starting to burn all of them to death because I wouldn't have enough fire flowers. So 14 war crimes. If anyone wants to try to beat that with the end, go right ahead. I'm not. And even better news in 4-A, as we're able to commit 27 war crimes. But this level was pretty annoying to do, mostly due to with the Paracoopas in the middle. Yeah, Paracoopas are kind of the biggest pain in the ass in this challenge to exfoliate, but other than that, a lot of war crimes came from the secret Koopas up above, but other than that, 27 war crimes is the count for this level. Now, before I get to talk about how many war crimes I commit in 4-Ghost House, I just want to take a moment to share my love for this level. 4-Ghost House is the perfect ghost house, for the very simple reason that it feels like a maze. You're going twists and turns, you don't really know where anytime you're going. The paths are convoluted, and even though I've played this level like dozens of times, I still don't know what I'm doing. This level is fantastic, and it is the best ghost house. And drumroll, please. 0 war crimes. Yeah, I just wanted to raise a talk about this stage, so 4-5 has like 10 war crimes, though I did spend most of my time just bombing the shit out of the enemies. But yeah, that's 10 war crimes, what I'm trying to say. 4-6 is another Dory level, which means that it was pretty annoying to do, but we do commit 17 war crimes in this stage, and following with 7, in 4-Castle, we commit 7 war crimes. And we don't commit any war crimes on the boss, so 7 war crimes is what this level gets. The only annoying thing in 5-1 was the snow spike at the start, killing the Goombas, but luckily we were able to kill them fast enough, which leaves us having 22 war crimes in this stage. 5-2, unfortunately, doesn't let us commit a single war crime, and 5-8 lets us commit 5 war crimes. But now, onto the hardest level in this challenge, 5-Fortress. Now, this level was so hard that I actually didn't do it on stream, but instead, I did it in my own time. Basically, in this level, there are a bunch of spiky balls that just spin around the floor, and will just kill the dry bones. Which is a problem, seeing how I have to kill them to count as a war crime. So, that means that I have to be fast enough to kill them. Now, the first 4 are pretty easy. The 5th one is iffy, but then, the 6th and 7th dry bones are really hard, mainly because of the big spiky ball that will kill them. So, this level took me 30 minutes to do perfectly. To be able to jump with the blue shell, to be able to perfectly pin and kill the dry bones, just in time before the big spiky ball was able to kill me. And also, we just war crime Bowser Jr., but like, you already know that was coming. 5-3 lets us commit 25 war crimes, but 5-B, even though it only lets us commit 22 war crimes, was a significantly harder stage, mainly due to the fact of the Koopa Troopas that are standing on those one thick block ice blocks in just about the middle of the stage, which were very hard to kill and exfoliate, but luckily we are eventually able to take their coins. 5-Ghost House is a shocker because we can actually commit 14 war crimes in here, which is a lot for a ghost house. Although one problem room is the first star coin room, because the bruisers just kind of commit suicide, which I can't stop, and I'm most of those only to kill 2. So 5-C has more bruisers, which means more war crimes, which means 8 war crimes altogether in 5-C. Now in 5-4. Paracoopas, that was the only hard part of the rest of the stage was pretty easy. But the Paracoopas at the start, yeah, pain in the ass, but at least we were able to commit all 12 of the war crimes in this stage. Now, 5-Castle is a funny story because this level can go suck a dick. For the main reason that killing the dry bones here was a pain in the ass, because the conveyor belts would just slow me down with the blue shell, so it took a while. I ended up getting hit a lot, so I had to beat the stage, but then I had to redo it. Then I had to try to kill the dry bones again. Oh yeah, and also PD Piranha was very easily cheesable with the blue shell, so what I'm trying to say is that we managed to get all the war crimes of 16 in this stage. Now let's go to World 6 now. World 6 starts off weekly with only 5 war crimes being possible, and 6A and 6-2 both have 0 war crimes in them that can be committed. And in 6-Fortress, the situation doesn't improve, as we can only commit 4 war crimes on Dry Bones and obviously Bowser Jr. And unfortunately, 6-3 and 6-4 both don't let me commit a single war crime. And 6-Fortress 2 was a doozy due to the dry bones, but other than that, we beat the shit out of Bowser Jr., earning us 7 war crimes in this level. Alright, well, back on track with World 6, 6-5 has 0 war crimes to commit. But now, onto 6-B, which was a pretty hard level. Not only due to the fact that there's flying Koopa Troopas here, but also due to the fact there's a lot of enemies here just hovering around by death pits, which was pretty hard to kill them. And even on the winning attempt, I did almost mess it up, but by sheer skill, because I am the Mario God Gamer, I was able to finesse my way back onto the tilting mushrooms using a Paracupa. So I was able to get all the war crimes in this level at 18. In 6-6, yeah, we commit 6 war crimes, but that's not important. What's important is that little coin cavity just on the very far left of the screen on like the top room. How do you get there? Like, what do you do to access those coins? It seems like you have to do something, but that is like the first time I've seen them this playthrough. And I don't know how to get to those coins. Can you even access those coins? If anyone knows how to get to those coins, please let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested now about those coins in the top left corner. 7 war crimes in 6- Castle, and we also destroy a tank. Alright, let's go to World 7 now. Now on to World 7, a royal pain in my ass, but man, oh, I love this world. This is my favorite world. 7-1 only has 3 war crimes we ought to commit. 7-Ghost House, only totes, has only 3 war crimes to commit. 7-2. No. I was able to commit 33 war crimes in this stage. Now, 7-3. Now, this level is the Wiggler level, which means that first I'm going to count the blue shot at the front of the Wiggler head so I can do nothing but sit on my phone. But now, doing this level properly, it was actually fairly difficult because this is technically an auto-scroller and the enemies do have a tendency to run off the Wiggler. But other than that, we were able to commit the 16 war crimes that are possible to be committed in this stage. But on a happier note, the only war crime we commit in 7-Fortress is caving in Bowser Jr.'s head. Then in 7-4, one of my favorite levels in this game, we only commit 1 war crime, which kinda sucks. But 7-5 is an upgrade at a whole 4 war crimes. 7-6 is 35 whole war crimes we're able to commit. 7-7, though looking pretty scary, was actually pretty easy to do, as all the Paracupas were able to fly by just onto my platform. So besides the one at the end, we were luckily able to commit 10 war crimes in this stage. In 7-8, because I wasn't counting the Wigglers nor the baby Wigglers as part of Bowser's army, meaning I can't war crime them, which means that unfortunately killing the babies doesn't count towards my war crime counter, so we can only count the 1 Koopa Troopa there, which means 1 war crime, and then in 7-Castle, only 0 war crimes here. Well, that's unfortunate, so we're gonna move on to World 8, where hopefully we can get some more war crimes. 8-1 starts off with 10 war crimes, but getting those 10 war crimes is rather annoying, for the simple fact that I hate the bats. I hate the crows. Sorry for misidentifying them. Do I care? No. They're annoying. 8-2 has 0 war crimes, so we're actually just gonna move on to Fortress, which has 10 war crimes for me to commit by killing Dry Bones. 8-3, surprisingly, allows us to commit a war crime, with 1 Koopa Troopa at the end that we can pillage from. Have I ever told you the tragedy of 8-4? It was an annoying level, a very annoying level, one that had 5 billion fucking spiders in it, doing nothing but infinitely respawning, trying to kill you at every opportunity. And even then, there were still 2 war crimes to be committed in this dark stage that you wouldn't hear from a Jedi. In 8-Castle, I was able to prove that I'm fucking goated at this game, because I was pulling off the slickest moves to destroy the corpses of Dry Bones. I mean, Bowser dies too, but like, my sweet moves were way cooler, than that. 8-5 was pretty tough with all the lava, the tilting platforms, and enemies honestly just trying to kill themselves at any instance, but luckily we were able to get 18 war crimes done in this stage. 8-6 was pretty tough with the rising lava, and with, well, the infantry respawning enemies making it pretty hard to see who's an actual enemy and who's just infantry respawning, we were able to luckily commit all the war crimes, being 5 war crimes in this stage. In 8-7, I mean, it's just Paracupas. The rest of the enemies were pretty easy to kill, and exfoliate, meaning that we're able to commit 26 war crimes in this stage. And because 8-8 has 0 war crimes for me to commit, That means I'm able to blitz by this level without a problem, and 8-Fortress 2 is, well, one war crime where I have to kill Bowser Jr., but other than that, now we get on to 8-Castle 2, the best castle level in my opinion, mainly due to just the twists and turns. Yeah, this one is basically honestly just the best because of all the twists and turns, little labyrinth at the end. Oh, this one is just so cool, and it's not hard, but it does feel tricky. It feels like a level that was meant to be complicated. Oh yeah, and also we war crime like Tree Dry Bones and Stomp Bowser Jr. set in. Yeah, we also saved the princess after doing a little bit of dancing, but that's the game. And now for the final tally of how many war crimes can you commit in a playthrough of New Super Mario Bros. DS. Well, drumroll please. 718 war crimes. That is how many war crimes you can commit on a playthrough of New Super Mario Bros. DS. But that's gonna be the end of the video. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe, and if not, tell me why in the comments, and I'll see y'all later.